Scientists are tracking a unique visitor from distant space. Astronomers say the interstellar comet they've named 3I Atlas is hurtling toward the inner part of the solar system from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius. European Space Agency probes were able to get a rare glimpse of the comet as it passed by Mars. Now scientists are analyzing data to determine exactly what this is and what it's made of. Arizona State University astronomer and former president of the Planetary Society, Jim Bell, is here for more. Jim, thanks for coming on. It's aliens, right?
Thanks, Andrew. Well, no, it's not. But it is a super interesting object. Only the third time we've discovered an asteroid or a comet coming from outside our solar system. So it's not a threat to the Earth, but it's certainly representative of the kinds of so-called small bodies that are out there that could pose a threat to the Earth.
And in all seriousness, 3I Atlas is not a typical comet, so we're told. It didn't originally have a tail, so could this be something other than a comet?
Well, not really. It seems to have lots of characteristics that are similar with other relatively inactive comets. It might mean it's a little bit more rocky than icy. But the cool part is that, like you mentioned at the beginning, it's coming from outside the solar system. There are millions of these kinds of asteroids and comets in our own solar system that orbit the sun. And this one is a representative of another solar system. It escaped its solar system, probably from a close pass by another planet in that solar system, and made its way across interstellar space to fly through our solar system, passing about as close as Mars to our sun.
I believe you mentioned it there. This is the only the third object, I believe, that humans have discovered that is believed to have originated outside of our solar system. Do you expect to see more objects like this?
Yeah, it's absolutely possible, and it's a great example of taxpayers, NASA funded. This was discovered from a NASA funded global telescope observing program. We're out there looking for the kinds of objects that could pose a hazard to the Earth. This one is not going to pose a hazard to the Earth, but there's tens of thousands of asteroids in our own solar system that make close passes by our planet, and we rely on NASA and the funding for NASA and the astronomers that work for NASA to keep an eye on these things, to track them, and to allow us to have an early warning if any of them are on bad trajectories.
I suppose the most important question is, what can we and expect to learn from this? But I'm just also curious your thoughts. What do you want to know about it?
Well, look, I mean, we have the asteroids and comets in our solar system are the building blocks of our planets, right? The Earth, the Moon, Mars, Jupiter, everything was, formed out of this kind of primitive starting material. And here's an example of primitive starting material from another solar system. Astronomers have only recently discovered that there are thousands of planets, probably millions, tens of millions, around other stars in our nearby galaxy. And so, here's an example of a visitor from one of those other solar systems that we can study with telescopes and spacecraft, as you mentioned. So scientifically, it's a great opportunity. And it's a reminder that the work that NASA does in so-called planetary defense is an important thing to do, because these asteroids and comets sometimes hit the planets. We can see the battered surface of the moon nearby. We can see that on our own planet, there's a couple of hundred impact craters that are still preserved on our surface. The Earth has been hit in the past, will be hit in the future. And so let's keep track. Let's monitor. Let's discover the things out there that could be hazards to us. They say that, Andrew, that dinosaurs might still be around if they had a space program, and they're not. But we have a great space program, so let's preserve it, let's fund it well, and let's keep track of these.
Yeah, thankfully we do.
Subjects.
All right, former Planetary Society President Jim Bell, thank you so much for your time.